This conference will now be recorded.
Had a physical
Anyway, thank you.
on the top of the slide,
Oh,
shield
okay.
across.
That's
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
After hours.
Jeff, can you hear us again?
Well, the lady yeah, right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Not quite. Very close. Very close.
Okay, call a meeting in order. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everyone. Bruce, do you want me to just make mention of the new policy or do you want me to read it?
I've got it up online or on the board.
Okay, we've got the policy online. For those of you online, please look it over. Few rules to interact with the board. Thank you. All right, the first order of business will be to approve the agenda. Is there any changes, Bruce?
No changes.
Move to approve. Okay. Motion by Tisdale, seconded by Jennings for approval. All those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have any conflicts this morning? Okay. Approval of the regular meeting minutes and board of adjustment minutes from August 26th.
Go ahead, Rick, a second. Whatever.
So who's what?
Apparently I made the motion.
You did or didn't?
I did.
All right, motion by Jennings, seconded by Sleep for approval. All those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. I have no questions on the bills. Anyone else?
Move to approve the payment of the bills.
Okay, motion by Tisdale, seconded by Jennings for approval to pay the bills. All those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Personnel, Ms. Brenda.
Okay, I have 3 in the sheriff's office, 1 in equalization, and 1 in highway. So Brent McNeil, the step raise, going to a deputy 2, grade 3, base pay of $34, full-time permanent employee, effective 9/7. Marina Cleveland, step raise, sergeant 1, grade 2, base pay of $35.73, full-time permanent employee, effective 9/21. Luke Kitzmiller, step raise, deputy 2, grade 3, base pay $34, full-time permanent employee, effective 9/21. New hire Josh Bridenstine, equalization appraiser, grade 1, base pay of $25.24, full-time permanent employee, effective 9/29. And then Lindsay Eckhart is also a new hire, highway department, county employee 3, grade 1, base pay of $25.64, full-time permanent employee, effective 9/15.
Okay. Anyone have any questions on them?
Move to approve all personnel requests.
Second.
Okay, motion by Tisdale, seconded by Jennings. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Travel requests?
I have an amended travel request. We approved this travel request a couple meetings ago for Carmen, and then Cassie. Cassie is no longer employed, so we're replacing her with Louise and Christine. They'll be going to Sioux Falls for their assessor's training. And then also, when we approved this back then, we approved a, a travel advance. And since this is coming in now, I'm just wondering if I could also have approval to do a manual check for that so they can be paid before they leave.
Okay.
Move to approve the travel request and the advance in the manual check. Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Flanagan, seconded by Sleep for approval. All those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Is that all?
That's all I have for travel question.
Abatements.
Brett's here, Mr. Chairman, and an add-on as well.
And an add-on.
Yeah.
All right.
You have the floor, ma'am.
All right, we'll start with the abatements. These are for some lots. It's basically a new development, and the prices were set by a lot of the view lots, and these are not. So the owner called in later and really, they sold them for, or they bought them for a lot less. So we just adjusted them down to what they bought them for, is what we did. And that's for the abatements. Now, we had one for tax year 2024, but they didn't own it by November 1st of the preceding year, so Spearfish denied that one. And I recommended to deny it for them also, so that's why they denied it. Yeah. But for all the ones for 2025, for all the lots, I recommend to approve the abatements.
Okay.
Bring down the sale price.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to follow recommendation.
Okay, motion by Flanagan, seconded by Sleep, follow recommendation. All those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the add-on is basically just an informational, we had to add on to the, I can't remember, the landmark casino down here. They have discretionary, didn't realize, well, made a mistake and did not add the buildings on that they bought to add to that. They platted it all together. So had to adjust that, and they were sent a letter, had some email conversations with Mr. Keating, and he understood what was going on, so.
We don't
add
need to take
on.
any action on that.
I think it's basically just information, I don't know, Brenda?
It's administrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be adding on $352,536 to the value of this property, and he understood.
We don't need action on this.
No. That value comes off of someplace else then, I assume? We didn't just add that value.
Correct, we didn't have it on, for the
Online.
amount of value, but it was the year before it was there. We just added
Alright.
on what it was supposed to be.
Thank you.
Brett, could you give me a copy of that?
This is the unfavorable.
Absolutely.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, Brenda, additional opioid settlement monies?
Okay, yes, I received an email from the National Opioid Settlement for a secondary manufacturers. And I just need a motion to authorize me to electronically sign on behalf of the chairman. And it's for, if you can see, Elvagen, Amneal, Aptex, I can't even hardly say their name, Hikma, Indevoria, Mylan, Sun, and Zugis. Are the names of
Repeat those,
the,
baby.
yeah. And the names of the pharmaceutical companies that, so I just need permission to sign on his behalf.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Flanagan, seconded by Tisdale for approval. All those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Sheriff Dean, you're up, sir.
Morning. Good morning.
Things are going very well up on the hill at the new facility. Our staff is performing at a outstanding level. And Chief Deputy and I have been visiting. We're now going to allow the numbers in the jail to start to rise to the next level. And we're going to try to find out. I've talked often in regards to where your cap is, your capacity is. Is it at 80% for us? Is it at 90%? Well, we're going to let our staff tell us where it's at. So we're going to run it up, just keep inching forward until we get to a point where maybe their comfort level is challenged a little bit, and we'll find the number, and that's where we're going to try to run for the balance of the year. So, other than that, I think it was a successful rally. Unless Dr. Halka, who has it look like there's something else I need to talk about.
Change order number 8, if I may. I think you have a copy of it, reflects 3 different types of work: the paper pass, the drive-up pedestal outside of the sally port, so that the officers pulling up can talk directly with the person up in the control center, right, and not have to go through dispatch.
Correct.
And then the soft water correction to make the dishwasher work correctly, better, totaling $36,296.
Okay.
You're looking for a motion to authorize the chairman.
They didn't have soft water for the dishwasher.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of a bizarre thing, I think.
There was, but I think it was perhaps plumbed incorrectly, and Tim is more of an expert on it than obviously I am. And, but Tony's aware of the issue. We've talked to him and trying to raise the idea that maybe the county should not be responsible for this fix, but RCS is gonna do the work, so they would be entitled to payment. And then we can hopefully work out with the architect and their engineer responsibility for payment, if that makes sense.
Okay, Commissioner Sleep, you had a,
Yeah, I was kind of wondering where the number will be put for federal jailways. You said you run the numbers for the use of the jail.
So which number are you asking, Commissioner? Are you asking
Well-
about the daily rate or the population?
Well, yeah, I guess the daily.
So the daily rate, this is where we're at. We started the paperwork process, as I had indicated, right around the 1st of July. The paperwork is done, but there's been a slight hiccup. In order to submit the paperwork, you have to have an account. If you have not logged onto the account in a year's time, your account gets deactivated, so we need to reactivate an account. But we are ready to submit the paperwork. I have a number in mind of where we need to be. I'd ask that you let me keep that harbored quite close to my chest until we get the answers from.
okay, let's take care of this other issue first. We've got the, 36,000,
Change order?
yeah, change
Right.
order.
I think there's a motion and a second, wasn't there? No?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Tisdale, seconded by Jennings for approval. Any further discussion on the change order? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's what I have, Mr. Chairman, unless you have questions for me.
All right, thank you for helping us accommodate our meeting last week.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
All right. Mr. Bay, sir. Good morning, and you have the floor once you're ready, sir.
Good morning.
We have some utility permits to talk about today. To start with, I have Black Hills Energy they're requesting a permit to do some underground installation of a primary electric line, and this is up off the Gilt Edge Road, and it would run kind of north towards the old mine site on this Forest Service property. There is roughly 200 feet of the road is county jurisdiction, and that's the portion that they would need our say on. So the area is kind of heavily wooded, so I did ask them to make sure that they would be able to get the utility as far from the edge of the road as possible, and then of course being primary electric power, they have to put it at 48 inches. So they have agreed to those terms, and I would recommend approval of this permit.
We'll follow recommendations.
Second.
Okay, motion by Sleep, seconded by Flanagan to follow Highway Superintendent recommendation on the utility. All those in favor of the motion,
Question first,
go ahead.
Mr. Chairman. Do we know a cost of the project if we wanted to install a bond or place a bond on it?
They did not provide a cost of the project, no. So I do not have that information for you.
I guess I think we should have a bond on all of these projects. I don't know how we can do that without a cost though.
I don't have that.
So where do we go from here?
Got a motion and a second.
I know I do. I'm just wondering if we wanna,
We could either guess on what a bond would be, or we just gotta come to a vote.
I have to ask, what permit number is it?
This is utility permit number 1-9225. It's very top.
I have here where there's a bond for the cost is 84,940, and I read.
That's
through 5.
That's for the next group of
There's
utilities.
Black Hills Energy according to this.
Right, next one below it. The next one is already.
Oh, you're right. Excuse me.
okay,
Um,
I will say that we have not had problems with Black Hills Energy with installation of utilities. We've never had an issue in the past, if that makes a difference to you. I understand you're wanting to be consistent with these, but we've never exercised a bond until we've had issues with that utility company.
okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion will say aye.
I
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Passed. That's something to keep in mind though.
I will make an effort to get costs of utilities for all of them going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next utility permit is with Celerity. And it's the same as the past several we've had. This one is on 117th Avenue, Sailbarn Road, Whitewood Valley Road for a short section of the Whitewood Valley Road, and then Superior Place. And so this is in between the Whitewood and St. Ange area. And this one does have a bond totaling of the 4 permits of $84,940. And that was also a condition of the permit would be an issue of a bond for that amount.
motion to follow recommendation.
Second.
Okay, motion by Flanagan, seconded by Sleep to follow recommendation. All those in favor of the motion will say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And that is all I have at this time, other than the 5-year plan, which is scheduled for 9 o'clock. So I guess we will have to wait a little bit to
Yeah,
talk about
that's a
that.
public hearing, so we'll have to wait.
Public meeting,
Public meeting.
not a public hearing, but it is a public meeting.
Well, can we
It's scheduled,
take care?
it's scheduled for 9, so I don't think we can do it
All right.
before there, but it is not a hearing.
Well,
We've got 4 of these to sign.
Need a motion for that? Mr. Chairman?
no, we have to wait till 9, Richard, for that.
I was gonna make that motion. You need-
We're gonna be in limbo here.
Need a motion to twiddle our thumbs, probably.
All right, we're gonna be at ease.
Okay, yeah, Bruce is gonna check and see if a city
Anyone?
lead can come.
Anyone else is here? 2 more?
Yep.
Yeah, we're in recess until possibly 9 o'clock. We've been doing a lot of hurry up and waiting.
buckets.
Said, holy buckets.
If anybody in the audience is interested, I could use some signatures on this, this send to the state for a 5-year public meeting. If you guys are interested in signing it, and prove people were here, I guess.
For your 5-year,
For a
I'll still be
5-year
here.
road plan. The
They
state
might
likes
not
to,
approve of it though.
you don't have to approve of it. In fact, I have
It's gonna change anyway.
but-
I have forms, if you'd like to voice your opinion, you can fill out and tell us how you would like things done.
Are we muted, Brandon?
If you'd like one of those.
order, and Robin, if you want to come forward, please. You have the floor when you come up.
Mr. Chairman, while Robin makes her way up, she did provide information to you, it should be in your packets, to include a mineral severance tax request, so it's a memo, I think it's about 2 pages long. And then also, actually, it's 3 pages long, and accompanying that is a proposed memorandum of understanding. With that, I would defer to Rob.
Morning.
Hi.
So as Bruce said, you guys should have the request in your packet. And basically what we're looking to do is put in some electrical upgrades to Manuel Brothers Park in Lead. And we're asking for severance tax interest funds to help fund that. Basically, to help boost our economic development in Lead. Vendor trucks and people are investing in vendor trucks more nowadays. And so that's kind of their business. And we have two sets of 220 down in the park. So when we host events, we are not able to host a lot of vendors up in the parking lot area. So that's been identified for the last few years now, that we need more options for power up in that area for when we do host events and bring people into town. This year for the 4th of July, we had to turn away some vendors that wanted to be up in Lee just because we don't have the power and they were set up with a generator. So the project would be to add, there's a map in there, but we would add 9 pedestals of 220 or 110. There'd be 3 power options, and each of those 9 pedestals, they'd be a locking box, so only authorized people could use those. And so, you know, trying to identify different funding sources for that, and we're going to have a large 4th of July next year. It's the City of Leeds 150th anniversary, and then it's also the 100th anniversary of the Gold Camp Jubilee Days that we host for the 4th of July every year. And if you guys did approve this, we would like to mark that as a partnership with Florence County, that we help to get that electrical upgrade in time for the big event that we're going to have happening next year. You guys know the history with homestake and mining, and so, you know, the intent of the severance tax was kind of to go back to those communities, and I think that this is a really good way to help us grow the economic impact that we can in the park. You know, we're not adding outside, we're trying to just fill the need that we have now down there. So that's kind of the gist of it. MOU, kind of just for transparency purposes, and then also for auditing purposes. If they wanted to know what that money went for, we would have that MOU in place that would show that.
Okay, Bruce, do you know what the balance is in the severance?
It's about 432,000.
And
That was at the end of July. Yeah, because I haven't done anything for August yet. So.
And
taking into account the other obligations you have, Mr. Chairman, the matching funds you pledged to Whitewood and to Lead as well.
right, which would total what?
That was 30,000, 300,000, sorry, excuse me. Yes,
Okay,
200 to Lead and 100 to Whitewood.
all right. Commissioner Sleep?
When you checked with the power company, they, Fair Board, Orange County, Lee County, Fair Board has the different power companies, talk to them about different things, and they kind of stuff to just donate their work and do it.
We have Black Hills Energy is who does the power up and Lead, and Barry's Electric is who gave us the quote, kind of put everything together that we were going to need. And he did talk to Black Hills Energy because he had to buy some electrical parts from him and tie into a transformer there. So we did talk to him about it, but they didn't offer to help pay for it.
Oh. Well, cities don't use like that, they sometimes will just go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Commissioner Flanagan?
My concern is that this is really not applicable to that particular thing. It's a government body asking another government body for money. And in this, when you read it specifically, and she included South Dakota Codified Law 1039-54.3, Where it says to foster the diversity and expansion of the economic base of the county by assisting the private sector in generating employment and income opportunities for county residents. Indirectly, that may be the case. So, I mean, I could see trying to make an argument for it, but I'm still not sure it applies directly under the terms of the severance tax money.
Mr. Sleep?
One other thing I would add to it, there's a lot more bark beetles showing up in the Forest Service, and we use money like this to help combat them in the past, and so we're liable to have to do it again.
Okay. Anyone else have comments?
I just one question. Ordinance wise, the city of Lead is set up to host food trucks and there's no limitations in that parking lot.
No, and we have talked about maybe, if the request came from the Economic Development Corporation, that would be an option, and Emma's also here, she could speak to that, but if it would be, something where economic development, the MOU or the money went to economic development, the MOU was through economic development, we're open to doing that as well.
Do you see any issues, Bruce?
Well, I think I look at the ultimate end, which is to create economic opportunities for county residents. And so the idea would be that food trucks would be new businesses, different businesses that are hiring people. So I understand your thought there. I had to work that through my mind too. I don't know that it matters how you get there, as long as you get there. Again, as Robin said, we did talk about having economic development, making the request, but then it seemed like that would be a bit unnecessary and a bit indirect, because then they would have to work with the city who owns the property, who's going to manage the project. So it seemed like the direct approach would be better. Again, ultimately keeping in mind that the money is to be used to facilitate new food trucks and other vendors.
Okay.
So I always think about return on investment. Do you have any projections on what that would be? Because we're wanting to do food trucks for various events, but that might draw more people and interest in the Lead also. There's virtually impossible to measure that otherwise.
Yeah, we do have, the chamber has a tracking software where they can track visitors off their phones. So we can track visitors to the area that come to the park. You can draw a grid on a map to see where they come into town, and then you can see where they come from. So we can track visitors to see if they are like Lawrence County residents or if they're out of state residents. So we have a way to track that. To track it after we put the electrical in, we're already doing that. So yeah, we can do that more, or try to, show before and after having the electrical in. There's been a lot of other talks. I think the, like Cold Deadwood Nights, that car auction used to be up in Lead before we did, I think it was when they redid the visitor center and it got moved to Deadwood, and it's just kind of stayed in Deadwood since then. So having power like that, we could do car auctions or have like some bigger events that would definitely bring in sales tax to the city of Lead, but also bring in tourists. So we are looking to try to do bigger stuff, but we just don't have that power.
Okay, Commissioner Sleep, you had another comment?
No, I was just gonna make a motion that we deny the request, because a lot of the things that are more important than that.
Okay.
Wait for a second.
I guess it dies for a lack of a second.
So I'll make the motion after having discussion with council to approve the request in light of the desire for the project to increase economic development or opportunities in that area for county residents.
Chairman?
Yes.
Brandon, does your motion include authorization to
I'll second it for discussion. Go ahead.
Does your motion authorize the chairman to sign the proposed MOU as well? I think it looks fine.
Yes.
Okay, further discussion, Commissioner Jennings.
So I'm still kind of on the fence of, I guess I would like the city of Lead to reach out to Black Hills Power to see if they would be interested in partnering with this also.
Okay.
Certainly seems like that's something they should do for community involvement and selling electricity. It might mean more coming from the city instead of an electrical contractor.
Further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion and a second to approve $50,000 to the city of Leaf for an electrical upgrade at Manual Park. All those in favor of the motion will say aye. We'll do a roll call. Brenda, please.
Jennings,
I guess.
Tisdale,
Aye.
Sleep,
No,
Flanagan.
Aye.
Hewitt.
Aye. Okay, motion carried.
I'm gonna have to study it at codified law, and see how to use it for bugs.
Use it what?
How it got used for bugs.
No, we put a lot of money into it.
There was a rather lengthy discussion on how that.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, guys.
And I agree with you, Commissioner Sleep. We need to be mindful of that.
well, since the Fair Board didn't get the mine, or the electrical companies to help them out, I don't know why these people.
Yeah,
did it.
well, there's a difference in the electrical companies that provide service to our community.
Difference of a co-op and a large.
Okay, we're back in limbo till 9, huh?
Amber is here.
Oh, Amber,
I snuck in.
please come forward.
Mine's gonna take like 2 minutes, but you know.
Well,
This is kind of the first we've ever had of this. So Bruce and I have been talking to Dylan Karras, I think that's how you say his name, Karras. And this was originally Lost Meadows subdivision, had a larger lot, and the person that owned it, the Phelpses, did a guest house on the totality of it, which they can do. They had enough acreage, wasn't a big deal. Well, they subdivided that lot, so it's 2A and 2B. Both of those are still meet the acreage requirements. They're plenty large enough, but the guest house stayed on 2A when they subdivided it, and they kept ownership of that. So their house and the guest house sits on 2A. They sold 2B, and when they sold it, title showed up that there was a deed restriction on it. So it did its purpose. It did exactly what it's supposed to. But with that, they requested, they did a new deed restriction, which has been filed, and it was filed August 19th. Which just sits on 2A now, because that's where the guest house is. But in order to clear the title of the deed restriction, we need to do a release of the first deed restriction, which was on 2A, just on lot 2. And so we have this was the new one to prove that the new one got done the way it was supposed to. And then Dylan Karras is the one, he did a release of deed restriction basically, and it's a document that you guys need to sign, the Phelpses need to sign, and then it would get re-recorded showing that that original deed restriction got released. Does that make sense? So,
okay.
And I don't have the original yet. Dylan might have been bringing it up at the regular time, so if we get it, it's not a big deal. I can just have you sign it later. It's just something that you'll have to sign if you guys approve it. And Bruce looked at the release and he was fine with it, but they were trying to get Phelps's so that when they brought it up, we could just record it while it was here.
Sure. Just need the chair signature or all of it?
Nope, it's just the chair.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the release of the deed restriction on the original lot and allow the chairman to sign that release.
Yep.
And acknowledge the new restriction on that.
Okay.
Treated lot.
Motion by Flanagan, seconded by Tisdale. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's it. So
All right.
I guess the good thing is we know that it works the way that's supposed to work. So
Positive.
it's the first time we've seen one come through like this, so.
All right.
Release a lien on a
Yep.
piece of this county property that had deed restriction.
Yeah. But well, and just the guest house option, at least we know the title company caught it the way they were supposed to, and they checked on it before they closed on the new lot, so. Okay, thank you.
All right, we are back in recess until 9 AM. Eddie. Go. All right, come back to order. This is the time and place for a public meeting on the 5-year highway and bridge improvement plan, 10-year regrabbing plan, and the 5-year equipment plan. We'll turn it over to you, John, and then we'll take public input if there's any after you're finished, sir.
Okay, thank you. Just a quick brief rundown. This is our 5-year highway and bridge improvement plan. This is a requirement by the state, one of several requirements to participate in any of the grant programs available to us. I am going to be asking, once we go through this, for some sort of approval. If you so see that it can be turned into the state by October the 15th. That's the deadline. I'm going to just start with going through the actual 5-year plan, and as you can see on what we have, and I have copies of this. Anybody wants a copy?
It's online too. I can have it.
It'll require you to sign the document there.
Thank
you. And as with any kind of projected plan, the closer it is to the present date, the more accurate the projects will be, and of course the estimated costs. As we look into the future of 4 or 5 years, the things can change. None of these are set in stone. Everything that's in these plans are estimates, and with our bridge constructions, you're going to notice in 2026 we have 4 bridges on here. I believe, and I still am confident, that 2 of these bridges will be well paid for and under mostly constructed in 2025. But because of the timeline, we did have to put them into the 26 timeframe. But just to start off with, on 26, our asphalt mill and overlay of the Nemo Road. This will be our 4th phase of that project, with a projected cost of $1,525,000. We do have chip seals for Brookview, Hillsview, Oliver Street, Westview Drive. Crack sealing and routing and crack sealing of the 1.27 miles of the newest pavement of the Maitland Road that we did a few years ago. Not the farthest north section of that road. That road is beyond preservation. The portion that abuts to city limits. The route and crack seal of the first section of the Nemo Road that we paved 3 years ago now, and our mag chloride of 121 miles, the graveling of 20.5 miles, even though we deducted we lowered our dollar amount. We still have the miles on there because we could still potentially do the same number of miles with this less graveling surface. The replacement and repairs of culverts and small bridges. These are all items that we lowered the values of for 26 to meet the budget concerns. We will do what we can with them funds. The bridges that we talked about, Christensen Drive and Maitland Road Bridge, are well underway, but they again are still on the 26 completion forecast. The other 2 bridges on our Elmore and the Whitewood Service Road, those are still, we're supposed to go. I did get word last week, the Elmore Bridge is going to go to bid tomorrow. It's going to go to a bid letting tomorrow. We'll see how
box culvert, John?
No, that will be a single span bridge. Yeah. Also on the 26 agenda would be to apply for the big construction grant of both of those structures on the Nemo Road. For 27, we will have one more year of the Nemo Road paving, and this would be from the Hay Creek area to the junction of 385. That would complete the main line paving of that section of road, without the repair that we're going to talk about in a minute. We'll have some chip sealing of the Nemo Road of of the Maitland Road. Actually, that would be already done. The Maitland Road one is not, that would be done. That should not be on this list. I'm gonna cross that one off.
Which number is that, John?
Number 3, it got put on twice. Chip sealing of the Whitewood Service Road, chip sealing of the Whitewood Valley Road, and those are items that would have normally been this year, but we pushed them back 1 year because of budgetary concerns. The route and track seal of the next section of the Nemo Road, route and track seal for 1 mile of the Crook City Road that we just paved last year. Route and track seal of West Oliver, Mineral Place in Winterville, which we also did last year. We paved last year. Gravel, again, 20.5 miles, the grading of 121 miles, the striping of 85 miles of pavement, and the replacement and repairs of culverts. The building of the, if all goes well and we get the grants, we would start with the construction of the 2 Nemo bridges in 27 and apply for the construction grant of the West Highway 14 bridge out west of Exit.
By the Miller Edge.
Correct. This takes us to 28. Now, this is something I alluded to earlier in the portion of the meeting, and this is a section of the Nemo Road that we skipped this year. It's a 3/10 mile of section that is right down by Water Wheel Lane, and that is a section that we were not able to just mill and overlay. It's going to require a full depth reclamation because that section of the road is falling into the creek, and it has been for several years, but it's going to require some bank stabilization and a full depth reclamation. And the estimated repair of that 3/10 of a mile section was $1,250,000. For that reason, we took it off of the paving project and put it as a standalone portion of the repair of the Nemo Road at the end. So it's something that we're going to have to address, but we did put it on tentatively for the 2028 when we're done paving the rest of that, so we don't have a large paving project in 1 year on the Nemo Road. Then we will be back to chip sealing the next section of the Nemo Road that we had already paved. 6.1 miles of the entire Crook City Road will be chip sealed. The chip seal and fog seal of West Oliver, Mineral Place, and Winterville. The route and crack seal of the next section of the Nemo Road. They all go in it's a 5-year program, so each one of these comes one after the other. The route and crack seal of the St. Ange Road and the re-gravel, another 20.5 miles of road just in our 10-year plan. Again, the chloriding of 120.5 miles of gravel road, striping of 85 miles, replacement and repairs of culverts and small bridges. And then to get the construction grant and build if we get the construction grant, we would in 28 be looking at starting construction on the West 14 bridge out by Exit 2. Now this is where we had to add something in there for our RAFE program. The RAFE program is gonna end in 2029. So as a requirement by state law, we have to have any of our small structures that qualify have to be in the 5-year plan, which is anything that's within a township, and in our case, anything on a secondary road, any small structures on secondary roads. So we put into the 5-year plan the replacement of the structure it would be at the, I guess that's the southwest end of the Kirk Road. It would be up by the storage units. There's a narrow, larger culvert that it's starting to rust away. That's right. Louis. And we also have put in there, and this is down off of the Boulder Creek Road. It's one of the newer low water crossings. A portion of the approach on the concrete slabs up to the low water crossing is cracked and is starting to move. Underneath of it is apparently either washed away or settled. But we're going to need to look into doing some work on that. So we're just getting those into the 5-year plan so that we can take advantage of that RAFE money, and I believe we have roughly 114,000 in that fund at this time. We're not sure if that fund is gonna continue on beyond 2029. Right now, it is set to end. I don't know how it's gonna happen. If we don't utilize the funds, I'm told that we'll have to give it back to the state. So this is a great opportunity for us to at least use those funds for one of these projects. And then we will be applying for a PE grant on the Camp Comfort Road Bridge. These are all also pending a little bit of our, when we get our report here on our next bridge inspection, which we'll see what comes of that. But we are tentatively in 28 foreseeing that we will be applying for a PE grant, a preliminary engineering grant for that. Moving us to 29, and again, now we're getting a little further out. So these projections are getting to be a little more, the dollar amounts are going to be, just pretty generic. Asphalt mill and overlay 1 mile of Upper Valley, asphalt mill and overlay the 1 mile of West 14. These are at the closest to the city's city limits. We will be chip sealing that next progressive stage of the St. Ange Road. The chip seal, or the Nemo Road, I'm sorry, then we'll be chip sealing the St. Ange Road, route and crack seal that next section of the Nemo Road, route and crack seal 3.58 miles of Acorn Ridge. Again, re-gravel 20 miles of gravel roads, chloride 121.5 miles of gravel roads, striping of 85 miles of pavement, and the replacement and repair of culverts. We'll be doing, we need to start looking into doing a preservation of the bridge deck on the Yellow Creek Bridge. That's at the intersection of Yellow Creek and Kirk Road. That bridge deck is starting to delaminate rapidly. There's too much surface delamination for that to qualify for a preservation grant, and it's not in poor enough condition at this time to qualify for a replacement grant. So we're kind of in the middle on this one. Again, that will probably change with some future bridge inspections. We'll have to continue to monitor that. We plan to apply for a construction grant in 29 for the Camp Comfort Bridge, provided that everything falls in place. And this takes us up to 2030, the last year of our 5-year plan, and this would be to pave. And these are kind of the ones I know you guys have issues with and we've had in the past, of just some projected asphalt projects. Again, these are just in a preliminary planning stage. This does not, these are not guarantees that these roads will be paved. I just want to make sure you understand that. This would be the pavement of the next 1.5 miles of the Maitland Road from Christensen Drive to Forest Park. A paved 1.4 miles of the Hill Street and North Tinton Road. Paved 1.6 miles of the McGuigan Road. Chip seal and fog seal 3.63 miles of the remainder of the Nemo Road. Chip and fog seal 3.5 miles of the Acorn Ridge Road. Crouch seal the next progressive portion of the Nemo Road, and then route and crack seal 4.8 miles of Anocker Canyon. Re-gravel 20.5 miles of gravel off of the 10-year plan. Mag chloride 121.5 miles of gravel road, striping 85 miles. Replacement and repair of culverts and small bridges, and then the build and the construction of the Camp Comfort Road. And that is the end of the 5-year plan at that point. If you guys have anything that you would like to see changed or added or deleted, I am certainly up to that. But I would ask for some sort of approval of a 5-year plan so we can move forward with it.
We want to take information, see if
Yeah.
anybody wants to say.
Is there anyone in the audience that wants to comment on the 5-year plan? If you do, would ask that you would stand and state your name and address for the record. No one? Anyone online? Not seeing anything, so go ahead and continue, John.
I'll make a motion that we, having done our public meeting, document and it's included that we approve for submittal to the state, the administrator's 5-year plan. The highway superintendent's 5-year plan.
Like, second.
Okay, motion by Flanagan, seconded by Jennings. Any further
I
discussion?
have a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
Mr. Kerr. On your 2027, the mag chloride went way up. Were you applying different amounts? Did you lower the amounts of mag chloride on 26 for budgetary concerns?
We did lower, everything that's on 26 was lowered.
So that must just be gallons of material per road or mile.
Per mile, correct. What we've done, you know, because I was asked to cut our budget,
Mhm.
we cut the things that we have control over, and that is, you know, chloride. We can't control the price of gravel and the price of chloride, but we can control how much we apply. And in the case of gravel, our roads are in pretty decent shape. They're in very good shape. And we can take some of these roads that may not need full gravel lifts, and we can do some partial lifts, and we can do some area lifts and not do the whole roads. And again, going through our 10-year plan, you know, we're on a rotation of all of our gravel roads, and that's always in mind when we plan. But our newest, and I think our best practice going forward is in the spring, we make an assessment of all of our gravel roads, because that's when you're gonna see the real problem with the gravel road. Not all roads, you know, higher volume roads are gonna always be a problem. But some roads that, they may be on our 10-year rotation, but they don't have a lot of traffic, and they may not need graveling in 10 years. And so we're taking more of a eyes-on approach, I guess, in the spring, and that's when we will make our decision of which roads that we do and which areas we gravel. But at that time, we're gonna make also the decision of how much we gravel. So for 26, the dollar amounts are lower because, you know, of budgetary concerns. And again, going forward in 27, that may be the issue again. Hopefully, a lot of these budget cuts that we did are temporary, and that we'll make those decisions at budget time next year. But going forward, we can adjust where we can, and those are the items we can adjust: gravel and chloride. We don't have a lot of say-so in snow removal. I mean, it's what it is. Hopefully we have good years and we don't have to worry about it, but we have years that we have to go out a lot.
Further discussion or questions?
On year 2028, when you're doing the stream bank stabilization, you have to do a hydrology study on that also?
Yes. Everything. That's why that 0.3 of a mile is gonna be so expensive. 404 permits are already in the process of being applied for that section. We have some NEPA studies that have to be done. There's a lot of work that gets done on that. But again, the dollar amount was gonna be too high to add that to this year's project or to next year's. I felt that it should be a standalone project.
Okay,
I think that's all I have.
further discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion before us will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, continue on, sir.
Outside of the gravel plan, unless you guys want me to read through all of that, again, I would like to just reiterate that we're planning on doing an assessment in the spring of which roads will gravel, and you guys will be made aware of it at that time. I do also have included is our 5-year equipment plan. You guys are well aware that in 26, you know, we're making the purchase of 6 motor graders with 7-year warranty. A big portion of why we reduced so many costs for 26 was to accommodate that purchase. In 27, we're planning on purchasing another loader to replace our 1985 950B Caterpillar loader. It's right now, I believe, probably our oldest piece of equipment in our fleet. And then in 2028, we're probably going to be looking at purchasing another Class 8 truck to start replacing some of our older trucks in that fleet. We do have a pickup truck on for that year as well. And in 2029, we're starting to explore some new chloride tank and spray equipment. Our chloride tank now, let me rephrase, our oldest piece of equipment is our 1959 Fruhoff tank trailer. That's our oldest piece of equipment.
And it's made out of steel, isn't it?
It's made out of aluminum.
Is it?
Been around a long time, it's been around as long as I've been here, and every year we say the same thing, we just think it's gonna break in half, but it keeps going. We did put new axles under it last year, and we got another year out of it, we built a new spray bar for it, but, you know, I think that's one of those things we're gonna have to look at replacing that here pretty soon, so. 2030, our kind of our want is for a mini excavator to replace one of our backhoes. We've been renting in larger excavators for some of our culvert projects, and we see the value in an excavator over a backhoe for installing culverts. So that will be something that we're looking at in 20.
Well, those little ones are very handy for a lot of things.
Yep, they sure are. So, and that's the end of our 5-year equipment plan. I don't have anything else on that. Any of the 5-year plans, if you guys have any questions or anybody in the public has questions, we're always open to that criticism and those ideas. We get our best ideas from you at the commission level and also from the public. You know, that's where we get all of our what to do next kind of scenarios. So anytime anybody has an issue or an idea, we welcome their input.
Okay, well, I'll again offer to the public in the room or online for any comments on this. Again, please stand and state your name and address to the record. Is there anyone in the room? Online. Okay, we'll close that portion of it. Commissioner Jennings.
Some of these gravel roads were or newly designated as minimum maintenance. Is it your plan to continue to re-gravel those every 9 years or start skipping ones?
Again, I think that will come down to our assessment in the spring. We don't want, even our minimum maintenance roads, I don't think we want to just let go dilapidate. I think that will just cost us more money, you know, in the long run. So, but I don't believe any of those roads will need gravelled on any 9-year or 10-year rotation because they just don't have the traffic. So I would, my feeling and my gut feeling is that no, those will always be shuffled back. That's why we don't want to just stick to a 10-year plan now. We want to assess the road in the spring, and the higher volume roads are always going to need more attention.
Yep, thank you.
Equipment trailer cost 75,000.
I don't know. I just again, the further out we project those numbers are, I mean, I could spend more than 75,000 on a trailer, but I would hopefully.
Yeah, I was surprised. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of different trailers. If you get a detachable gooseneck trailer for like a semi truck, those things are over 100,000. They're about 130,000 now. So what they will be in 2030, I don't know. Yeah, I doubt they'll go down.
There's too many emotions.
Nothing else.
Depends on the size of the excavator also.
It's going to be a small excavator. It would be a pintle hitch type of trailer. It would not be a detachable gooseneck trailer.
Right.
I'll know more in 2030 if I'm still here.
We
Thanks, John. See you
Thanks,
guys. Thank you.
keep in mind slaves have to be sold, they can't be fired. I think we're gonna be at ease again until 9:30 for our next hearing.
I'll keep the recording until then.
Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Commissioner Jennings will join us. And this is the time and place, public hearing, resolution 2025-30, which is a resolution setting the 2026 county budget.
It's consistent with what we discussed at your last meeting.
Nothing has changed.
Okay, these are questions. I don't have any.
See anybody online?
All right, we'll offer it to the public. Is there anyone in the room or online that would like to speak to the budget issue at this time? If so, please state your name and address for the record. Not seeing anything, so we'll close the public hearing and offer it to the board.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-30. I'm sorry, we closed the public hearing. That's my motion. I need something, sorry.
We were gonna just do the consideration of the adoption on it.
Oh,
Do what, Brenda?
Do just do the adoption of the budget at the September 23rd meeting.
this one is just
Yeah,
just the
just-
hearing
just the
part.
public
That's right, we
hearing.
let it sit
All
at the end of the
right.
month, so
Then
I
we'll
will
finish.
rescind my motion.
All right, well, bring it up again on September 23rd for final closure.
Is one schedule.
8 o'clock. We are down to items from the public. Is there anyone in the body of the room or online that would like to speak to the board about anything today?
Mr. Peters is here, right? Chairman.
I would like.
Okay, come on up. Just please state your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Dale Peters. You want my address? Is that,
Please.
I live at 21207 Thunder Lane in Lee. I'll read my statement. My name is Dale Peters. My wife and I have lived on Thunder Lane for 2 miles south of Lead, Bedford High School on Highway 1485. We have lived there for 52 years. There is a neighbor on either side of us. I am here to tell you about the problems with the Boar's Nest business across from the highway from us. During the motorcycle rally and cool Deadwood nights, I contacted the sheriff's office and the South Dakota Highway Patrol several times. The constant noise from revving motorcycles and cars, their outdoor band, and their loud page notifying customers their order is ready. Have they not heard of cell phones? All impact us. The business is a magnet for bad behavior that is magnified by the addition of alcohol. The previous owner was not open full-time, so annoyance was not daily. We love it when the business closes on a day off. We no longer sit on our deck when the business is open. I was told there is no noise ordinance in Lawrence County. So too bad for us. It seems no consideration to our neighbors either. They do not have enough parking during popular events. Their customers crowd both sides of the roads. I have some pictures with me if you want to see. We discovered that there's no maximum occupancy sign assigned to this business. Shouldn't the fire marshal be contacted? We do appreciate the effort made by law enforcement this year. They have frequently monitored the area. Burnouts are mostly confined to the Boar's Nest parking lot. Some no parking signs were erected. Thank you for listening. I wanted the commissioner to be aware of my concerns.
Okay. Go ahead.
I know that Mr. Peters has contacted, I think, the sheriff's office in planning and zoning on a number of occasions going back to last year, leading up to this year's event. I know the DOT put up temporary no parking signs along the highway, but they would not enforce them as I don't think they have gone through their official process yet to have those enforced. So hopefully that would be something that can be done in future years to keep the parking along the highway down. I know Amber's been talking to the owner of the Boar's Nest, and they did have a shuttle service from somewhere to eliminate some of the parking issues. We do not have a noise ordinance.
Okay, are they open year round now?
No, I think he'll close. He sold his bar in Wyoming, so I don't know what he'll do. Usually they do, after Labor Day, he shuts down.
Yeah.
I don't know what he'll do. It is just a constant, it's just so obnoxious, and I've had Megan Merwin, they've come up from the sheriff's office there, and it's way louder at our place than it is right down on the highway. It just booms up there. I mean, it's so doggone annoying. I mean, none of you guys would love to have it next to you where you live. I know that for sure.
Well, I thought occupancy was,
It's not set by the fire marshal. I don't think. I think it would be set by, we've never done it, but I think it would be set by our code.
so usually cities do that because I had that one at my place.
Yeah, so we've never set it. But I'm not sure how we would go and regulate that at any rate.
True.
How you count people.
But I've got numerous pictures. This is during the rally, parked way up along the highway.
Yeah.
And the cars weren't as bad. They tried to, down by my place, they tried to put some candles for my mailbox, and that pretty well worked. There was a couple motorcycles, one in there, one during the rally, but then they left them up. They did that for the deal. But this was the view going out of my driveway, and this was looking to the south, and this was looking the other way. So I'm pulling out of my driveway, and I got traffic. I can't see. I mean, that's just a pickup. They've had vans parked there, so there's nothing. My wife's sister brought my wife home for water aerobics and almost got T-boned there. And then another gal come and thought the same thing, but I was leaving there, and that's what I can see. You start sneaking out there, and people just walk across. I mean, it's crazy. People just head out there. I mean, and got alcohol involved. And it's supposed to be 40 miles an hour. They had a couple of signboards that said, slow down. Didn't say how much to slow down. It said pedestrians. I have was one there, but them guys, tree service, right tree service is working in my place, and they pulled them out of there during the rally because of all that. But they come in after that, and I was telling that guy, and he said they were bringing their truck back in, coming down the hill above the Boar's Nest, and the guy got off his motorcycle and back up. He said, we almost got him with our truck.
That's a state highway, right?
It's
Makes it tough for us to.
I've written letters to Marty Jackley. I've done this 2 years, and I sent you guys a letter, and I did it to Sheriff Dean, and he called me back, and I sent it to Criminal Highway Patrol. And it's a big problem. It's a big problem for law enforcement. I mean, it's got to be a headache.
They had a meeting, Mr. Chairman. I know the DOT, the HPs, and the sheriff's office attended, and I don't know what came of that, but I think, again, they're trying to have no parking on a more permanent basis in the coming years, which should alleviate some of that.
Okay. Well, it sounds like they're visiting about it. I mean, it's unfortunate that we don't have a lot of control over it because it is a state highway.
But it's like this deal with no noise. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that they got a PA system, and they call these people on their cell phone. They got a big PA, and then now because of the rally, then they crank it up, and they call out red 18, red 19, and black this and black that, and constantly. It's I mean, something. We need some help somehow. I mean, it's wrecked our quality of life immensely. So I just wanted to come down and voice my opinion. The Highway Patrol, the last year, he was discussing, they set up a meeting with him, the owner last fall, because they were discussing about all the burnouts on the highway, but the owner never turned up at that meeting. He never appeared. So I said, what are you guys gonna do? Well, they didn't know what to try to do about it.
Well, Bruce said that they've been visiting about it, so hopefully you get some relief. If it was a county highway, we'd have a little more teeth in it, but, Commissioner Flanagan?
I actually received a video from somebody about, they had a video of the rally, and I sent it to the sheriff, and it was got some information on that too. I mean, at the end of the day, we can send them a letter reminding them that there are they do fall under some regulation of the county as far as licensing and other things.
Yeah,
And if there's enough complaints and it's not appropriate for what they're doing,
yeah,
the location.
It's just I called the other day and they come out there because they're there, and then all of a sudden they're doing a burnout, not on the highway. They do it, but people go by there. It's just known for bad behavior. So it just brings out the worst. And then when the alcohol is involved, it's and that's so it's so frustrating that.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming, and we'll try to further look into it and see if there's anything we can help with.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, the highway patrol said, well, he could go after his liquor license, but, he probably hasn't done anything wrong, that I'm aware of that, and
I think they just have beer and wine there.
that's what he's got, yeah. But if he doesn't
Right.
have that.
Okay.
But there's no conditional use permit on that.
No.
Permitted use.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Is there anyone else online or in the body of the room that would like to speak to the board this morning? Not seeing any more, so we'll close it for the public, and offer to the commissioners have anything they want to bring before the board. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thanks.
No comments? I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Yep.
I was gonna ask, has the owner of that place, been contacted and told him the problem?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Amber's talked to him. I'm sure others have as well. I know Amber has.
Thank you. We can regulate, type of license they get for liquor and wine and whatever. Work.
The question would be, is it their behavior or is it the customer's behavior? And
Right.
people are doing burnouts in the road. Arguably, that's not the business owner that's doing that. It gets to be kind of complicated. And it's 3-4 days out of the year. I live next to it. I wouldn't probably like that either, but it's not, as far as I know, a year-round thing. It's situational with the big events.
And I can see, he lives on that hill, right? I'm sure the sound just bounces off that hill behind the horse nest, because he's up above a little bit across the highway.
There's no place for that sound to go.
No, not that canyon. It's interesting at my house, if I stand on the front deck on certain days and the mill is running, the pellet mill, it sounds like there's a diesel truck hiding in my driveway. Dead serious, just clear, it's just like there's a semi sitting there at the garbage truck.
Oh, we know.
And it's probably not quite a mile as the crow flies, but it's a ways away, but it just sounds like there's a truck sitting there idling in my driveway.
Hopefully next year, the DOT will have permanent signs put up and maybe have a solution much like they did at Devil's Bathtub, I'm gonna guess. Maybe some chevroning or something like that. That will go a long way to kind of, it is a dangerous situation. Jeff and I were out there several times looking at it. And there's no doubt. It's probably like.
I can share that video if you guys want to see it. It's film coming down the hill and you can, all the motorcycles, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that was every day during the rally.
Yeah.
It was-
See, I thought-
We went out there
I
multiple
thought I went by there,
times,
but I didn't.
We're trying to
and
monitor
every day
this.
during the rally, Cool Devon Nights was just as bad.
So are we adjourned?
Eric, did you make the
I did.
motion? Okay, we are adjourned.
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording for now.